Hello all, it's Ellie and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please feel free to subscribe and enjoy all my other creepy crime cases. Now for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the murder of Maddie Clifton. This is a child murder, so if this is triggering in any way, I do apologise, and I also just want to let everyone know that in no way am I trying to offend anyone who has been affected by this case or involved in this case. I just enjoy crime cases and I like to put them out here on YouTube. Like I said, today's case is the murder of Maddie Clifton. She was an 8-year-old from Jacksonville, Florida. Obviously, when anyone is murdered, it is a sad situation, but when you know the person that murdered an 8-year-old child, who is also like a child themselves, it just adds another level of like sadness and just how dark this case actually is. So Maddie Clifton, she was born on the 17th of January 1990, making her 8 at the age she was murdered. She was born into a very loving family. She was the child of Sheila and Steve Clifton. She also had an older sister who was older by 2 years, and her name was Jessica, and she was noted as being Maddie's best friend. Maddie was a very happy child and had a load of friends. She was described as like a tomboy, and she would give like anything a go. She was always up for a challenge. She wasn't scared of anything but the dark, so she really was a strong little kid who was just willing to look at life with a wide perspective. She was a very active child and a very quick learner. She was also musical, and she liked to play the piano, harmonica and drums with the goal of learning the guitar. On the 3rd of November 1998, Maddie went out to play but would never actually return home. It got to around 5 p.m. when there was still no sign of her at home and no like close neighbours had seen Maddie. So her sister Jessica went out to have a little look for her, and when she returned home with still no Maddie, the family knew that something was wrong, because this was so out of character for Maddie to go out and not listen to the rules of having to be home by dinner. So they just straight away fear kicked in. Her disappearance was reported to the police, and luckily the police actually started a search like pretty quickly. When this call came in, the police and neighbours straight away kind of had a suspect of who it could be, and this was a neighbour who had actually already been arrested twice for sexual abuse. These were separate crimes that happened 15 years prior, and these charges were actually eventually dropped against him. However, obviously with him now being a suspect, he was taken to the police station and questioned. When he was taken to the police station, he agreed to do a polygraph test where throughout the questions he actually failed regarding Maddie's disappearance, but had a rather strong alibi, so they let him go. The evening came to a close and there was still no sign of Maddie anywhere. From the 4th to the 9th of November, more than 1,000 people across the northeast of Florida were searching for Maddie. Also note that the people in her neighbourhood were searching, and especially a certain someone that I will talk about later also joined in the search for Maddie. Just after a week of Maddie's disappearance, the search will actually come to a close because sadly Maddie's dead body was found. It wasn't found by the police though, or anyone else out on a public search. It was actually found by a neighbour. Her name was Melissa Phillips, and she found her body while cleaning out her 14-year-old son Joshua Phillips' bedroom. While cleaning, she noticed that her son's waterbed seemed to be leaking. Upon further inspection, she discovered Maddie's body that was hidden inside the base of the waterbed. With active police like everywhere, Melissa literally had to run across the street to get the police to come check out what she had just found. Joshua Phillips was actually at school when Maddie's body was discovered. The police made their way over to the school and actually arrested him on the premises. It was a complete shock to everyone because Joshua didn't have a violent past, and he wasn't known to be like the kid to lash out. He was taken straight to the police station and straight into interrogation. During his interrogation, he said that him and Maddie were outside playing, and then he accidentally hit Maddie with a baseball. This obviously hurting Maddie, ended up making her cry, so he took her back into the house and then up into his room, and her cries began to get louder, and out of fear that if his dad was to hear and him getting told off, this got Joshua into a state of panic, so he decided to strangle Maddie with a phone cord. He then beat her with a baseball bat and then stabbed her to keep her from crying. Josh's father then soon returned home, and Josh interacted with him for a bit in the living room before returning back upstairs. This is where Josh discovered that Maddie actually was still alive and was moaning from underneath his bed. So he removed the mattress and then stabbed her for 11 times, officially killing her. Luckily, autopsy didn't show any sign of sexual assault, but she was naked from the waist down. On November the 16th, prosecutors announced that they will be trying Joshua as an adult and asked that he would be charged for first-degree murder. They couldn't go for capital punishment because he was under 16. His trial began on the 6th of January 1999, and by the 8th of January his trial ended with a conviction of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Luckily, he will remain in prison for what he done to Maddie, but there were actually a few appeals against Joshua's sentencing and prison time, because his mum thinks that they should have taken his age into consideration more. And I mean, although you know right from wrong, but they think he shouldn't be getting a life sentence due to his age being a big factor. But he's now, I think, 32 and he's still serving his time. I just feel sorry for the family that, you know, just, I don't know, just such an innocent child going out to play to never return is obviously just so sad. But yeah, that pretty much kind of wraps up this case. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. Please feel free to comment a crime case underneath that you would like me to look into and do a video. If you do so, you will be getting a shout out, so win-win. And yes, I will see you in my next video. Remember, stay indoors, stay safe, and goodbye.